one on here that's a different producer than Chris, isn't it?
Yes, but we need to go back a bit further because, again, this was one I wasn't expecting to write. But Timothy Dudley-Smith, the great hymn writer, has been for years and years writing these wonderful lyrics. Every Christmas, on his Christmas card, puts his latest carol. And a couple of Christmases ago, I got his Christmas card and just looked at his latest words. We sing the song of Christmas. And as sometimes these things happen, they grabbed me. And I came up with a tune that I really quite liked in its childlike simplicity, and even then wondered what to do with it. You know, and then because we worked it out, it's got some beautiful verses. Then I got to know Chris Eaton, who's written many a lyric for Cliff Richard. Yeah, and I got to know Chris because he lives quite locally to us, and I sent him the tune and he said, "Oh, I really like this, come on, let's have a go." So I went over to his studio, and it just took a whole day. It just took a morning where he put the track down. I was there advising him what to do, and then we had 7 little children came in the afternoon, quite angelic.
Including Katie Leader's little boy, who was only 7.
He was only 7 at the time, yeah, really angelic Joe. And they sang beautifully, and we came up with this gorgeous little carol, except that one problem: there was one verse where, because of the wonderful lyrics of Timothy Dudley-Smith, he talked about "in your heart a sword, the pain."
Yes, inestimable blessing, unutterable loss.
Of mother's most exalted, yet in her heart a sword, inestimable blessing, unutterable loss, who bore the world's redeemed.
Well, you couldn't expect the kids to sing that.
No.
It needed, at that point, a different dimension. And Chris's wife Abby, who's a beautiful contemporary singer, sang it for us almost at one take. And then the final verse blended it with the children, so you'd got a certain maturity and yet a beautiful, innocent, childlike simplicity, which is all about Christmas.
I liked listening to Once in Royal because it starts with the traditional tune, doesn't it?
Oh, that was just to lull us into a false sense of security. Because this is a tune I discovered when we were looking at the Christmas collection a couple of years ago. What else have I written now at Christmas? And I found in an old music manuscript book this setting of Once in Royal David City that I wrote in sometime in the 1960s, I think, before I'd gone to music college.
Once in Royal David City stood a lowly cattle shed.
And it was very Israeli in its field. Can't think why it was, but it was. But a straight up and down Israeli kind of Once in Royal David City. And then we put it in the collection. But I thought, it's never had a recording. And I risked it by giving it Chris King, my producer. Chris, what can you do with this? And he came up with something that I would just never have thought about. A treatment that was very folky and gentle Israeli. Totally different style to however anyone would conceive Once in Royal David City for Christmas. And I think that's good because, you know, sometimes familiarity doesn't so much breed contempt, it breeds immunity. And something you can sing these words Christmas in, Christmas out and not realise what you're singing. So a different tune with some radically different style to what people are expecting. Maybe some of these marvellous words, and our eyes at last shall see him. Wow.
I like the way you bring the tempo right down for that. It's much more reflective.
Yeah, and it finishes in a gentle way.
Finishes with an interrupted cadence.
And most people won't know what that is, but they'll know it when it happens.
Yes.